Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series every Monday night. Brought to you by FEGPC.net. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, as we get ready to send them out at Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to see some big moves, some big crashes, and looking to see a few of these drivers try and get things locked up at the end of segment 2. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting the league, supporting the broadcast, as well as supporting your favorite drivers. Let's go ahead and run through the grid, see who we've got. We've got Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, the 57 machine, starting on pole. Derek Fulton starting second. Corey Stahl starting third. Dalton McKinney starting fourth. We've got Kenneth McCall Jr. starting fifth. Roger Hale starting sixth. Jeremy Perez starts 7th. Eric Park starting 8th. Rylan Fascinato starting 9th. David Stryker starting 10th. We've got Jeffrey Radke starting 11th. Justin McMahon starting 12th. Cycling it back to John Below starting 13th. Christopher Carter 14th. Mark McFadden starting 15th. William Price 16th on the grid. Gordon Darnell starting 17th. James Kaufman starting 18th. Michael Brisson starting 19th. Wally Babb starting 20th. We've got Stephen Page starting 21st. Jesse Bobo starting 22nd. Richard Jones, 23rd on the grid. Chad Ross in the 38 special. He'll be starting 24th. Cycling it back one more time to Adam Shane, starting 25th. Dennis Black starting 26th. Mike Wood, 27th. Brian Travers starting 28th. Jason Harrison starting 29th. We've got Pete Woodrum starting 30th. John Power starting 31st. John Mullahan, 32nd. Stephen Ayers starting 33rd. David Nance starting 34th. And that is going to do us here at Talladega. Let's get ready to send them out. Let us know, fans, who you're cheering for out here, as it's going to be a good one. 80 laps, one fast repair available tonight for this super speedway race, so a get-out-of-jail-free card is available if any of these drivers find themselves with a little bit of damage on these race trucks early on. Waiting on Chad Ross, John Mullahan. Looks like they're going to opt to start down from pit road as we roll the trucks out. And let's get ready here at Talladega Super Speedway. Will we see long green flag runs, or are we going to see some big crashes early on tonight? Dave Solomon cheering on the number 66 of Corey Stahl. MJ is cheering on Roger Hale. Abby Laughlin also cheering on Stahl. So Stahl getting a whole lot of love here from the fans. Great to see. And on that front row, it's going to be Jay Dargert, Derek Fulton, two very likable guys starting the party up front. Dalton McKinney, Corey Stahl starting on your second row. Roger Hale, Kevin McCall Jr. will be your third row here tonight. We've got Sally here. She's cheering on Mark in the number 5 machine. Mark will be starting about 15th in the Ford F-150. Now the one downside here at Talladega, a lot of time to really sit and think while you're pacing around the super speedway. Paulina cheering on the number 69. It's got to be Rylan Fascinato. Yes, it is. He'll be starting, I believe, 10. As we make our way slowly through 3 and 4. Waiting for that iRacing pacing car to make its way down pit road to signify we're about to get things started here at Talladega. We've got the instant replay camera queued up. I have a sneaking suspicion you may see some big crashes here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Pace car comes down pit road. Now this initial start will be on the green flag. Subsequent restarts are on the leader. The field stacks up. Dargert will set the pace in the 57. And let's go green flag racing for the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. We've got a whole bunch of trucks out on track here tonight. A relatively packed house, 34 drivers. Entering today's main event, Darter leading the inside line. Fulton trying to get that momentum built up in the number 7 machine on the high side. Again, we were told no 3-wide shenanigans the first 2 laps after a restart. The drivers will be kind of locked in here. As look at that, here comes Dalton McKinney hopping down the inside line ahead of Jay Darter. Fulton still on the high side. And now Darter's going to swap spots. He's going to try the high side by side with McKinney. Darter showing as your race leader by just 1/100 of a second heading into turn 1. But McKinney's going to get the advantage once more in the 46. Now, once we can take the start finish line at speed once more, that may allow these drivers to go 3 wide if they so desire. McKinney with a big run the inside line in the purple and yellow number 46 Chevrolet. Darter in the black and white number 57 Chevrolet. He's run the high side. Mika also cheering on Fascinato in the 69 machine. At the line, it looks like it's going to be McKinney by almost a full 1/10 of a second there. Yes, 700, so just about there now. 3 laps in, are we going to see some 3-wide action, or are drivers going to maybe play it safe here? As it looks like McKinney trying to decide what line he's going to get on the field. Gets a little bit out of shape there on the inside. It's Corey Stahl making some big moves in his number 66. He's the bright red truck on that inside line, but he's a couple car lengths back from your race leader, Dalton McKinney. McKinney hops back down low, so Stahl will be second in line on the inside groove. Right behind McKinney on the high line, it's Jay Darter, Derek Fulton linked up nose to tail. And we are rocking and rolling, getting some steam built up out of these drivers. McKinney with a big run. Stahl maybe takes a peek at the outside line, thinks better of it as Darter had a quite of a run there in the 57. Looks like the field willing to play nicely, at least for the time being. Now right now, while they're getting up to speed, drivers hitting speeds just above 190 miles an hour. And let me tell you, folks, from personal experience, if you're in the virtual cockpit, you can't see a whole lot out of these things. As we go on board with Corey Stahl in the 66 machine, he's tucked in behind Dalton McKinney in the 46. And you can see not a lot of room to see out of those trucks to notice where your turn-in point is going to be. It's a lot of trust amongst competition. Relatively calm here, nobody pushing too aggressively. Really not even seeing that much bump drafting going on early on in the event. But as we get closer and closer to the end of segment 2, drivers gonna be playing it safe, keeping those points chase in the back of their mind. As McKinney gets another lap led in the 46, Stahl still showing second. Darter third, Fulton fourth, McCullough will be fifth. Now I'm a bit surprised to see Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03 machine up front so early on. We've been broadcasting here with FEG for over a year now, and McCullough usually has been one of those drivers that kind of takes it, plays it safe. He usually doesn't try and qualify up towards the front. And then you see him make some moves later on in the evening. So Bit interesting to see him up into 4th in the 03 machine, but definitely a welcome surprise as he is consistently very quick on super speedways and has the strategy dialed in. Now this is an absolute massive pack. This is 1st through 17th place within 1 second of each other. A good wide angle shot showing you how busy this raceway is. Now again, towards the back, you're going to be seeing some drivers pulling that strategy that we were talking about just prior. Maybe not wanting to get up there with the big pack, just kind of following along, seeing what's going to happen, staying within the draft so they can stay on the same lap, but in no big hurry to get themselves intertwined with any possible problems we may have this evening. But we are 2 wide and about 10 rows deep here. Hard charger on track. Steven Ayers at number 62 machine. He is up 12 positions so far. Didn't have a great qualifying, starting 33rd, but working his way up rather quickly. He's in the all black with the white numbers Ford F-150. So keep an eye out on Ayers as he's continuously starting to charge up a little bit further. And he has caught just the tail end of this lead pack. Looks like we've got it down to 22 drivers in the lead pack. If we go back to Jeremy Paris, number 24 machine, he leads the 2nd pack as he runs 23rd. Now he's down 16 positions. I think the strategy out of number 24's crew tonight is, hey, let's play it safe, wait for the big one to inevitably come out, and then find ourselves up towards the front later on. And speaking of the front, McKinney and Dargert still going at it. If we can make this to a green flag stop, I will be a very happy broadcaster out here tonight. As drivers just clicking off laps nice and steady at 187 miles an hour. We are on the back camera of Dalton McKinney, number 46. What a great view of Corey Stahl. Showing just how tight these guys are getting at these speeds. But again, no bump drafting as of yet from the drivers. Everybody giving each other plenty of room. Not wanting to risk anything too early. Now McKinney and Gardner possibly in the safest seats so far of the evening. There's still a chance to get hooked, but generally you're a little bit less likely to get involved in the mid-pack fray. As you watch the 46 and the 57 of Darger and McKinney still pushing up front, not having any issues. "32 drivers on the lead lap. Now, it looked like we did have 2 DNSs, did not start. So it looks like John Mullahan, the number 6, David Nance, the number 11. Both did not get out on track, so I'm not sure if they had some sort of real-life mechanical or what the issue may have been, but a shame to see 2 very quick drivers unable to make the grid here tonight. And again, it is 22 drivers inside this massive pack out front. As we're focused on Dalton McKinney's 46 machine, not having any issues or woes. Oh, but we've got problems somewhere else out on the track. It shows Adam Shane involved in an incident. Will it bring out the caution? So Shane takes a toe back, no caution. Let's see what happened to him here. He got all sorts out of shape. I almost wonder if his wheel disconnected. So a very interesting issue. Thankfully did not bring out the caution for the rest of the field, but Adam Shane may be done and out here, as we have shown he has left the raceway and at least temporarily put it back in the hauler. Now Dargert and McKinney have to be happy that there's no caution as they keep rocking and rolling, with Fulton and Stahl both pushing them on the second line here. Ken McCullough Jr. running third on the inside line, tucking in behind Stahl. Now the only big disadvantage that McKinney and Dargert will have here is they're pushing a little bit more air with those trucks, not having the draft broken for them. But guys like Stahl, Fulton, McCullough, all looking good here as they tuck in behind those first trucks in formation, and they'll be able to squeeze a little bit more fuel out of those race machines as the inside line keeps up with a dominant run. Will we see Dargert answer once more? Because it looks like just ahead, a little bit of traffic for these race leaders to deal with as we go too wide and very, very deep. I think that's going to be Chad Ross in the 38, who is looking to go a lap down here very shortly. But this is where things can get a little bit rowdy. You got a bunch of drivers having to squeeze down nice and tight and avoid any sort of carnage, as McKinney and Dargert still leading here tonight. And let's see what's going to happen as they come up on traffic. Ross holding the high line to avoid getting caught up. Dargert leads his line, and we're going to go 3 wide down the backstretch with traffic. Got to keep an eye out. If some of these drivers don't know Ross is there, it can get mighty exciting mighty quickly, but it looks like the field able to get through here nice and clean. Ross still holding the high line, as was instructed in our drivers meeting leading up to tonight's main event. And it looks like Dargert has a bit of a run here. Who's it going to be at the line? Still going to be my McKinney by under 100th of a second. This is the type of pack racing we like to see. Nobody wants to watch a caution fest, and Dargert and McKinney having a fantastic run out front. Fulton and Stahl both second in line here, tucking in, saving some fuel, taking it easy, as it looks like the outside line losing a little bit of support. We're down to about 6 or 7 drivers on that high line, as Dargert hops down low. And looks like it's still going to be Dargert, and now Fulton will be leading the outside line. Dargert able to tuck down in front of McKinney's 46 machine, leaving Fulton to get some momentum built up on the high line. Now Dargert, a fantastic racer who's had a series of bad luck so far this season, getting tied up in a fair amount of incidents, some his fault, some not necessarily so, but after qualifying on pole, he's going to try and keep that momentum up for as long as he possibly can here tonight, trying to pick up his race win. Now Dargert showing 33rd in points so far this segment. His best finish so far of this segment was back in Richmond on April 4th. He was able to pick up a 13th place finish, but unfortunately for Jay, he did have 14 incident points by the time it was all said and done. But right now, he's definitely in a good spot, leading the inside line, which just has gobs of momentum. As it looks like the outside line really falling apart here. Everybody looking to hop down low. And now we will see just how long the fuel run will be here at wide open race pace in Talladega Super Speedway. We'll put the live timing and scoring chart on the left side of your screen, where it's Dalton, McKinney, Stahl, Fulton, Parks, your current top 5. As 3 drivers are out so far for the evening. And we still have 30 drivers on the lead lap here. As Dargert will be the first driver down pit road for a green flag stop, and a whole gaggle is going to follow him in. Looks like Dargert, Carter, Ross, Brisson, Price, Page, Traver, Jones, Kaufman, all down pit road together. Dalton McKinney stays out. He'll get a lap led. And look at Eric Parks charging along. He's got, I think that's David Stryker. Stryker, I believe, showing number 30 on the side of his truck, but live timing shows him as the 32 machine. Yes, that is correct. That's Stryker not riding the right transponder. And we're going to have a whole lot more drivers coming down pit road. Looks like your top 9 opt to stay out. Fulton, McCullough, Stryker, McFadden, Harris, your current top 5. 9 drivers staying out. The pit cycle starting to get exciting here at Talladega. Fulton getting a push from McCullough. Harris trying to work the outside line, the number 24 machine. He's getting pushed by Justin McMahon in the 20, as well as John Below in the number 9 joining the party. Harris drops down low in front of Fulton. Is he getting set up for a pit stop? Yes, he is, and it looks like the remaining 9 drivers going to come down pit road en masse. Looks like everything looks relatively good for a green flag stop here at Talladega. So I think that may put Dalton McKinney back as your race leader, as he's got Jeffrey Radke in the 51 machine linked up in hot pursuit, pushing that 46 aggressively forward towards a possible victory. So about 20 laps is what we're seeing out of these guys so far tonight. That should put our next pit window around lap 38 to 40. Well, looks like Adam Shea has returned from the hauler back down to pit road. He's going to try and get back out on track here, as things will be getting exciting once more. Paris and Dargert going to try and take over the race lead once more, but Paris has about a 4/10 gap. But no, here comes Dargert. Here comes McKinney with a massive run. And just like that, Dargert back out front after the green flag stop has completed. Looks like the field a little bit more stretched out here in the top 5. So again, pit window is going to open up around lap 35 to 43 for the next time by for these drivers. And things looking well here. Looks like just about the entire field breaking it down single file as Dargert leads the charge in the 57. McKinney, Radke, Carter, Harris, your top 5. But big mover right now, Sean Powers. Showing as the number 5 on track, but he's the 553 machine. The paint not matching the transponder. He is up 28 positions so far tonight. Now running 8th on the track in that baby blue Ford F-150. Now the question is, will we see anybody hop out of formation here? Or are we going to run this thing single file for the next 15 laps or so? Now we saw Shane rejoin the session, but he did not go back out on track, so I fear he may be done. But now things are shaping up a little bit. Mark's in the mix, but I'm wondering if he got a pit road violation, the 73 Ford Mustang, or Ford F-150, excuse me. Using his pit stall for 52 seconds. That seems indicative of some sort of speeding penalty, as, oh no, Sean Powers has a big blink as he's chasing the 66 of Stall, trying to get back out in front. He was running 3rd or 4th for the longest time. Now finding himself running 9th on track. Oh, what's this? A caution? Trying to find out where it's at. It shows Jones going off track. And somebody else off track as well. No, that is Richard Jones. Finds himself parked in the 56 machine. And then Jordan Darnell has crashed. What just happened? Oh, Jones got a little bit squirrely there. Gets hooked by the 56. No, that's Darnell. Got a little bit squirrely and then gets hooked by the 56. Let's watch that one more time. Focusing on Jordan Darnell in the number 15 machine. Looks like maybe he thought he was clear, but they might both be at fault for that one. But unfortunately, both drivers up and over. Jordan Darnell in the 15. Richard Jones in the 56. Jones going for a wild ride here. Over and over he goes. Still going. Before finally catching the grass one more time and landing on 4 wheels. But unfortunately, both those drivers are going to be out with some very heavy damage. And that will be our first caution of the night. While we have this quick caution, we're going to run a very brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the FEG PC Truck Series.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out.
And we are back as we get them racked up again here at Talladega after our first caution of the night. Jay Darger will maintain the race lead. Dalton McKinney will be joining him on the front row. Jeffrey Radke, Jeremy Paris, your second row. Wally Babb, John Below, your third row. Now, last week at Kentucky, it was Derek Fulton bringing home the win. But right now, he'll be running about 5th out on track. But hey, this is super speedway racing. Anybody's guess how this thing's going to shake up at the end of it. And I think Darger just ecstatic to be out front, getting so many laps led. But this will change up the pit cycle quite slightly. That's going to put their next pit stop on lap, let's call it about 50. Which, if I'm doing my broadcaster math properly, is going to end up in a mad dash with about 10 laps left to go for a final fill up on fuel. If, and that is a big if, we don't have another caution. Cautions tend to breed cautions, and now you got the field stacked back up. Driver attrition starting to play a role here. You're starting to see some smaller mistakes out of the drivers, and at 200 miles an hour, that is a good way to cause a big incident very quickly. We've got 27 drivers on the lead lap. With 31 drivers still rolling around out there. Let's see, we're gridded back up. Double file as far back as the eye can see, 15 rows, and the green flag is out. And away goes Dargard on the inside line, accompanied by McKinney in the purple and yellow 46 machine. Now remember, no 3-wide action for the first 2 laps on this restart. Who will be the first driver to maybe forget that ruling? As up front, McKinney tries to hop down the inside line. Looks like that was Wally Babb. Tried to follow suit in the 99, but now Babb and McKinney will be leading the front row. Dargard and Carter will be side by side, second in line. And now Babb will get a lap led here in the number 99 Ford F-150. As Carter tries to get some steam built up on the high side. Looks like he will do so after the line, but Babb making the super speedway just a little bit shorter as he hugs that inside line. McCullough looks like he was trying to take a peek either towards the middle or the low line. Nowhere to go in that 03 machine as he very quickly saw Dalton McKinney there. And now Carter and Babb charging on the front row. McKinney and McCullough on the second row. Chased by Dargard and Stahl. Don Mullahan just now returning to the pit road after being unable to make the race. John Powers still your hard charger, but Wally Babb is up 19 positions leading here at Talladega. John Powers running 11th. He's up 20 spots. And Stephen Ayers in the number 62 running 14th. He's also up 19 spots. So some big moves to be made throughout the field. As now drivers trying to sling around, see where they're going to get sorted in at. The Highline doesn't quite seem to know exactly what they're going to do here. Everybody looking for a little bit of clean track, somewhere to take those big runs, but a lot of traffic in front, and the gold rule always applies. Don't push the pusher. We haven't seen too much bump traction here as we go 3 wide up front with Babb, Carter, McCullough. McCullough all the way up high. Looks like he's going to fall back here. Maybe wisely backed out of it, saying, you know what, this is way too risky for my liking. As it's getting a little bit exciting up towards the front. We're only 33 laps in, and 3 wide again we go for the lead. Babb, Carter, Stahl all making some big runs here. There's contact up front between Babb and Carter. Dargard has the check up, second in line. Oh, that's a good sign. A crash is imminent if we're already bumping doors at 200 miles an hour. And now you've got traffic ahead. What's going to happen? Drivers starting to show some aggressiveness. Not even to the halfway mark of the evening as we go 3 wide with traffic. That's John Mullahan, the number 6 machine, 30 laps down after being unable to make it out onto the grid. Now, I'm sure there'll be at least a couple cautions before the end of this, but I think that's a little bit out of reach as far as consecutive lucky dogs will go for Mullahan. Let us know, race fans, are these drivers going to make it to the next green flag stop? Or are we going to see a little bit more carnage here at Talladega? We haven't seen the big one as of yet, but both drivers, broadcasters, and fans all waiting with bated breath as Bab continue his charge up towards the front, but it looks like Carter getting a big shove from Darger in the number 57 machine. And Corey Stahl has joined the high line. It's got a whole lot of momentum here. Darger looking for a way around the 25 machine, saying, I want up front, let me have it. But Carter not going to make it easy here. Ooh, Darger gets another shove to the 25. And Carter gets a little bit out of sorts. Has to be happy to see the franticness behind him. But now he's going to have a newcomer with David Stryker in the 32 machine. Or at least live timing calls as the 32. His paint shows the number 30 as Stryker hops down the inside line. And it looks like Carter with a big run on the high line. Darger tries to follow, unable to do so. Then Carter drops down low. Now it's going to be Darger starting with a big run, accompanied by Corey Stahl. The top five, much less the lead, constantly changing as we get closer and closer to the halfway mark of today's main event. Everybody clicking off laps here, not having any issues or worries so far. Oh, but look at this, the field too wide, at least 15 rows deep, and they're going to have traffic to contend with once more. Carter and Darger leading their respective lines. They're going to come barreling by at a 20-mile-an-hour pace difference. That's Mullihan going way up high. He knows all these drivers up front and doesn't want to be the guy causing a big one, but it's going to be happening further behind. As we see McFadden spinning around, Richard Jones, Ryan Taver tied up in that one. And we saw it out of the background. Keep an eye on Richard Jones in the 56 machine. Looks for an opening, unable to find it. Tips into the 28 of Ryan Taver. Number 5 of McFadden tied up in that one. Oh, and just almost got away. But that's a rough spot for Jones as he gets pushed back into traffic. Jeremy Parrish just absolutely slams him. And we will sacrifice a few more good trucks with our second caution of the evening. Everybody comes down pit road. That should extend our next pit stop to about lap 60, getting everybody back on that even strategy. So it'll once again be Carter and Dargert on the front row, Stryker and Babb your second row, McKinney and Radke your third row after our second caution of the evening. As we continue to shake things up, sacrifice a few more trucks, but hey, good news for some of these drivers as we do have that one fast repair available. That get out of jail free card, if you will. So not all is lost for the drivers who have been tied up in those early incidents. As McMahon, Below, Wood, Parks, Ross, Fulton all down pit road. So we're expecting at least one more stop from these drivers. As I believe we're going to have 28 drivers on the lead lap once it's all said and done as we get sided up. Double file as far back again. Let's see the hard charger now on track. Will be, I believe, Wally Babb sitting in fourth in the 99 Ford F-150. He's up 16 spots. As the pace car comes in, past the halfway mark, how many more big crashes are left in the cards? I feel fair saying that we haven't seen the big one as of yet tonight. But still, plenty of time, plenty of laps, and plenty of drivers left to make it happen. As away they go. Carter on the inside line, Dargert on the high line. Barney, our flagman, frantically waving the green flag to show we're going racing. And it looks very quickly as if the outside line has little to no support here as Carter, Stryker, McKinney on the inside line, as well as Jeffrey Radke. It's Dargert and Babb on the high line, but here comes the cavalry getting things back together. Now, for the most part, these top 5 drivers have been very, very tame. We only saw a couple of incidents of a little bit of door banging going on. After that, things kind of settled back in as the 2-lap 3-wide rules back again in effect. So no 3-wide action. So I believe we finished lap 45. Carter and Dargert leading the front row. Stryker and Babb will be second in line. McKinney and Page will make up the third row. But the inside line, a lot of momentum here. As we go on the top of Dalton McKinney's number 46 machine. Not wanting to get tied up, pushing too hard too early on. Meanwhile, at the front of this freight train, we're leaning on some bumpers. Keeping that pace forward. Drivers trying their best to stay in line to get their respective groove up to speed, as it is once again a drag race between Carter and Dargert. Now I believe once they cross the line, these drivers will be cleared to go 3-wide once more. But will we see anybody take advantage of it, or are they going to play a little bit safer and just try and get to the final green flag stop? Always tough to say, and a lot of the racers will always tell you, oh, we're going to play it safe, until they see that opportunity to get a lap led here in a big broadcasted league. And once that opportunity is dangled in front of you, some of the guys are a little bit more likely to hang it out and see what they can do. But Carter, who is up 13th positions, loving where he's at with a big push down the backstretch. Dargert also getting a push from Babb in the 99, so some friends being made out on the racetrack, some unlikely allies trying to get themselves up towards the front. But again, with so many laps left, I don't think you're going to see too heavy bump drafting going on. As some of the drivers battling for about 6th, 7th place look like they're hinting at 3-wide action. Possibly just trying to get some clean air on the front of those nose. Now with these fixed setups, I don't think there's much risk of overheating the machines, but sometimes that driver attrition, wanting to hop out of line and just kind of relax your hands a little bit. The other reason you may see drivers hop out of the groove is saying to themselves, all right, I'm in the vortex of danger. I'm feeling that a crash is imminent. Let's back out of it. Watch these guys have their problems, and we'll catch up back to them later on after a caution. But right now it shows Dargert as the leader as he crosses the line, 8/10 ahead of Babb and Carter. Will Dargert be able to get clear of the number 25 machine as they get through 1 and 2? It looks like Carter going to answer back with some pace. But Dargert and Babb, working in tandem, have been able to find some time here. The number 1 machine is Stephen Page, 3rd in line on the high side. but about a truck length back from Bab in the 99, so not really giving them too much of an aero push. It looks like the 46 machine of McKinney a little bit closer to Carter and Stryker, but still fairly spaced out. With how stretched out that top line is, it's going to be tough for Darger to securely take over the lead and hop down the inside line. As for the most part, it looks like the inside is a little bit better, keeping it linked up nose to tail. But they're using that inside solid yellow line as a reference mark around the corners. Is look at the big push from, that's going to be Stryker in the 32, giving a hearty shove to Carter, your race leader. Carter, Darger still side by side. Stryker and Bab pushing their line leaders further up towards the front. Now we're expecting another green flag stop right around lap 60. And that should, in theory, be the final stop of the evening. But I have a suspicion here that some drivers are going to hang it out as long as they possibly can on fuel, as that outside line getting a little bit squirrely with Darger and Bab working together. Looks like Darger was going to be able to get clear of Carter the inside line. And we will have a caution interrupting the party here. As we're trying to see who was involved in that one. Mike Wood going very slow. I'm not sure if he was tied up in this one or not. Take a look here and see if maybe he was involved. Yes, he was. Around goes Wood. Good job locking up the brakes, though, and that'll be a single truck incident, or at least a single damaged truck incident. Let's take one more look at that. So it looks like Wood gets into the back of the 5. The field checks up. He gets a bit of a shove from the 15 machine. Gets hooked slightly, but well done locking up the brakes. Almost came back out into traffic, and that would have been exciting, but keeps it pointing in the right direction. And that will be our third caution of the evening here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Expecting all the drivers to come down pit road. But I still think that's going to put them about 5 laps short on fuel unless something wild happens here. Now, interesting here, Bab, McKinney, Radke, Fascinato, Stahl, and Powers opt to stay out. So let's get them stacked back up. Wally Babb is up 19 positions, but Sean Powers in 6th is up 25. A lot of drivers in pit road. Looks like just 2 drivers are out for the evening. That's going to be Richard Jones and David Nance. Excuse me, 3, and Adam Shane all done and out. We get him grid up behind our iRacing safety car. It gets ready to come down pit road. And let's get things started. As Babb and McKinney are on the front row. They opted to stay out. They'll be on 15 laps less fuel. Inside the top 6, everybody behind them came in on lap 52 to top off. Now those drivers from about 7th place back may be able to make it on fuel if they can save a little bit here. But it's going to be close. As we know for certain, we're fairly certain that McKinney, Babb, Fascinato, Radke, Powers, Stahl, who stayed out here, are going to be just a bit short. McKinney takes over the race lead, getting pushed by Babb in the 99 machine. Fascinato on the outside line, trying to keep things moving in the 69 machine. He's got Sean Powers right behind him. It's going to be 25 laps left to go as they cross the line, and Fascinato with a massive run the outside line. 0.05 of a second ahead of Dalton McKinney, but I don't think he's going to get clear of the purple and yellow as they make their way through 1 and 2. He's going to need a big push from Sean Powers to make it happen, and they both go together. Holding on to all, looks like 2.5 lanes there, making it wide. And now Stryker will take up the charge on the outside line. Jesse Bobo right behind him, number 3 Toyota Tundra. Fascinato looks like he was trying to maybe half-heartedly throw a block there, thought better of it. And it's going to be David Stryker at the line by just a couple hundredths of a second. Fascinato holding on for dear life on the inside groove. He's got Sean Powers right behind him. Stryker and McKinney and Bobo round out the top 5 as it sits, but things are very rapidly changing here tonight. Again, a lot can happen at speeds of excess of 190 miles an hour out of our competitors. Fascinato in the black and orange 69 machine, our current fastest Canadian out on track here. Race leader is up 8 spots from where he qualified, but Sean Powers right behind him in the baby blue and white Ford F-150, up 29 positions. But as we say that, Powers with a big blink. That's going to make things a little bit frantic on the inside line as Fascinato goes high. He will be keeping, or at least trying to keep, David Stryker behind him, as we currently show Powers as your race leader. The Powers hold on to the race lead here. He's got Dalton McKinney right behind him. Fascinato sliding backwards a little bit on the high line, but the field getting all sorts of out of shape as they cross the start-finish line here at Talladega. Powers about a tenth of a head of Fascinato, but he's still got McKinney right behind him. Christian Hale here cheering on Roger Hale. He's running 9th out on track inside the top 10 as Fascinato hops back down the inside line. He's going to go side by side with Stryker, who's leading the party on the high side. Ooh, a little bit of blocking going on up there at the front. Fascinato and Stryker hold on to the race lead at the line here, and it looks like it's Fascinato by just 0.06 of a second. Now Fascinato and Powers on that inside line may be looking for a pit stop here in just a brief moment, as Stryker on the high line good to go for a little while longer as he came in a lap 52. But are any of those drivers on the high line going to be looking for a pit stop as well? Because if they have not come in since lap 40, that fuel window is going to be rapidly approaching. And if you can't hop down the inside line, you may be running out of fuel here at the Super Speedway. So again, about 6 drivers inside this top 10 will have to pit relatively soon. Stryker showing as your race leader can go about 12 more laps than Fascinato. Fascinato may be banking on a late race caution here to save him from a green flag stop, but that's a big gamble to make as Stryker, accompanied by Jesse Bobo, have a big run, but Stryker gets out of shape, and now here we go. That's going to be the big one. Oh, it is a parking lot. We saw that one coming to fruition. And let's see if we can get a nice tight shot here of Dalton McKinney in the 46 machine. Looks like he got a bump from behind that wasn't quite square. Tries to hold on to it. No, it wasn't McKinney. It was Stryker. Right as we said, it was some good, clean super speedway racing. We willed the crash into existence, and ooh, Stryker going to have one more hit, adding insult to injury. Looked like Stephen Page was also involved in that one in the number 1 machine. Oh, Page just got ran over there. One more time for the fans at home. On board with Stephen Page. Oh, I think the 44 got hit into him. Some of the drivers doing a fantastic job locking up the brakes. Some drivers, not so much. So let's see who gets faulted for that one as Fascinato comes down pit road, saved by the caution bell. Michael Brisson opts to stay out in the 71 machine as just about the entirety of the field behind comes down pit road. This will be enough to fill them up towards the end. So things continuously changing inside the top 5, the top 10. If Brisson doesn't come down pit road, it's going to be Dennis Black accompanying him, also staying out. Carter and McCullough will be your second row. Fascinato and Radke your third row. So yes, things changing up front. As now it's going to be Black and Carter on the front row. McCullough, Fascinato your second row. Price, Radke will round out the third row. David Solomon quoting Cake in the spectator area. Big fan. One of my favorite experiences as a racer, one of my fondest memories, we were racing at Barber Motorsports Park on sport bikes. Hopped out of my RV on race day, and over the PA, Cake, the distance was blaring wide open. Probably one of the best racing memories that I can remember. And thank you for Solomon for refreshing me on that one. So I think everybody except the 88 will be very comfortable to go the distance on fuel. It'll be interesting to see if Dennis can stretch out just a little bit more, trying to save heavily under pacing conditions. Pace car is in. Let's try this once more. as it's going to be 16 laps left to go as they get the motors fired up. Carter on the number 25 block in the 88 machine. And we are green flag racing once more as we've got somebody trying something towards the back and then hopped out of the groove. I'm not sure what type of start that was we saw out in the background, but certainly not a good one. Dennis in the 88 holding on the inside line. He's getting pushed by Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03. But keep an eye out for the number 25 machine of Christopher Carter. He's linked up with Rylan Fascinato in the 69. Getting some momentum built up. William Price also on the high line. He's next to Jeffrey Radke in the red and white 51 Toyota on the inside line. Now remember, no three-wide shenanigans until 2 laps after the green flag. So once it clicks off and says 14 to go, I think you're about to see some wild racing going on here. I don't know what's going on a little bit further towards the back, but we've seen some wild bobbing and weaving going on in what might be the battle for 20th. Those are inevitably the guys that bring out a caution as the number 25 of Carter and the 69 of Fascinato hop down the inside line. That'll leave William Price on the high line to get the momentum back up. He's got the number 5 of Mark McFadden behind him in the Ford Mustang. So again, things rapidly changing up front. As Carter and Fascinato a bit of a breakaway, staying linked up nose to tail. They've pulled about 2 trucks lengths over William Price and Dennis Block, but looks like Fascinato looking for a way around the number 25 machine, not able to make that happen. And now he may be in an interesting spot as he's got 2 teammates leading the front rows here. That's Christopher Carter, that's William Price. You can quickly spot him out with the matching paint schemes, but around goes the 62 of Stephen Ayers, and that'll bring out another caution with 13 laps left to go. And we will return to pacing conditions. Let's get a nice tight shot on Stephen Ayers in the 62 machine. What just happened? Looks like he was coming down low, gets tipped by the 31. And goes bouncing across the infield. Getting some great TV time for his sponsors, though, to his credit. If you're not going to make the podium, at least get the sponsors some TV time. And he is motocrossing it all across the track here. Does he hit anything? Because he looks like he's full tilt reverse. What a good save. Keeps it out of pit road. As far as crashes go, that could have been much, much worse. This is our 5th caution of the evening. Looks like everybody here should be good to go on fuel. I don't think anybody's going to come down pit road opting for track position more so than anything. As they wait for the iRacing safety car to make its way around. The field pretty much coming to a stop here. So the field getting gridded back up. It's going to be Price and McFadden on the front row. Carter, Fulton, your second row. Fascinato and McCullough, I believe, will be your third row. Let's see, it's going to be 10 laps left to go. I believe 3 wide will be allowed right off the rip here. So will we get to the end, or are we going to possibly see some green-white checker conditions being thrown into the mix? I think it's anybody's guess what's going to happen. Price will be starting the inside line to 34. McFadden, the number 5, will be up on the high line. Carter, Fulton on that second row. Fascinato, McCullough, your third row. Getting ready for that safety car to make its way down pit road, signifying we're about to start the party. Will we make it till the end under green flag? Or are we ready for one more big crash here tonight? Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Price linked up with his teammate Carter on the inside line. McFadden has Fulton behind him. Fulton already going to give a shove to the 5 with McCullough Jr. in tow as well, with the 2 teammates with a big lunge. Oh, here we go. 3 wide already down the backstretch. We were correct on the ruling there. And already the caution comes out. It shows John Below tied up in that one. Not sure who the other driver was. Let's take a look here. Ooh, below gets tipped by the 71, also tagging the 6, and around they go. So very quickly, right back to I-pacing. For our 6th caution of the evening, it'll be Price and McFadden once again on the front row. Carter, Fascinato, your 2nd row. Fulton and McCullough, your 3rd row. We're getting closer and closer to the green-white checker conditions. Now tonight we do have 2 green-white checkers at our disposal if needed. But for those drivers that were looking for a green flag run to cap that off, they're going to be sorely disappointed. Get them back together. The 2 teammates look like they're going to be side by side for the start here. We slowly get them back together. It'll be 6 laps left to go for this restart. Again, if we can take the white flag under green flag conditions, we'll run it out till the end. But if we have another big pile up, we're going to run into green-white checker conditions. Now keep an eye out here as the 34 of Price and the 25 of Carter are going to try and link up as quickly as they can. It'll be interesting to see what Fascinato on the high line does, or McFadden on the low line, as they're second in line behind the 2 teammates. Will Price and Carter link up nose to tail? Are they going to try and control the race pace here, running the front two lines? We are gridded up side by side. Let's see what these Titans can do after our sixth caution. This could very well be the final restart of the evening, but I have a sneaking suspicion that is not the case. Pace car is in. We get ready to try this once more at Talladega for the FEG PC Monday Night Truck Series. Price and Carter will set the pace here, and away they go. A little bit squirrely. The old tires starting to reflect that. Carter hops in behind Price. Fascinato tucks in as well on the inside line. That's going to leave, I believe, Kenneth McCullough Jr. on the high side, trying to get the outside line going. But the field very stretched out on that restart. Fascinato takes a hint, takes a peek at the outside line, not able to comfortably get clear of McCullough's 03 machine. And we're going to go 3 wide again, but it will interrupt the party as the drivers just can't hold it together here, and another caution comes out. That'll put us in a green-white checker condition. Trying to see who was involved in that one. Looked like Dennis was off the raceway. I'm not sure if he was tied up in that or maybe doing a bit of avoidance. Avoidance is the answer. Let's see, it looks like Chad Ross may have had a good view of that one. Well, that's because Chad Ross was hardly in it. He got a push from behind, tagged Stephen Page, but I think Ross got extremely lucky there after that impact behind him. And poor Page couldn't see it coming. Maybe a bit of a net code there, making the issue work. And that'll be our 7th caution, and we're going to put it into green-white checker conditions here tonight. So we've got, I believe, 2 green-white checker attempts. Will we be using both of them tonight? Let us know what you think out there. It's been a long time on track for the drivers. Tempers getting hot, trucks getting hotter. And a long time to reflect here under pacing conditions. After this 7th caution, I believe it's going to be 26 drivers on the lead lap. Waiting to see if Mike Wood, the number 17 machine, able to rejoin the track in his Ford F-150 after that last incident. So we get them gridded up, double file for our first green-white checker attempt of the evening. Only 2 attempts available. If you're just tuning in, first of all, welcome. Second of all, thank you. So what this means is we are officially in overtime conditions. If we can take the white flag without a big incident or the caution, we will run it out till the end. But if we do have a caution before the leaders take the white flag, we will put it into double overtime here tonight at Talladega. Bryce, Carter, your front row. Fascinato, McCullough, your second row. Fulton and Parks will be your third row. And still, realistically, I think it's anybody's chance if you're in the top 10, the top 15 to bring it home. Now, while all these drivers did have one fast repair at their disposal, I think a lot of guys may have used that one up early on tonight. And after that get out of jail free card, you're stuck fixing those machines the old-fashioned way. As we see with Mike Wood, the 17, he's been in pit road for 4 minutes. He will most likely not get back out on track in time. Race car is coming down pit road. Bryson Carter on the front. And away they go. Not sure if that lane change is legal here, as Carter tipped in behind Bryce before the start finish line. We'll have to check the rule book and maybe get some clarification on that one. But they want to link up as quickly as they possibly can. We're taking a look. I'm not seeing any rules about holding your line before crossing the start-finish line, so I think that restart is good. Every league has different rules, and Price and Carter still linked up nose to tail. Fashionado to join them, but here comes McCullough in the 03 machine, getting pushed by Derek Fulton. The white flag will be out this time by, and we're going to run this thing out to the end. A drag race to the finish. McCullough on the front row, as well as William Price side by side, about 5 lines deep. Look at the 73 machine of Parks, all out of sorts. He gets hooked by the 24. Around they go, and the leaders crash. What's going to happen here? Radke, showing as your race leader, is looking good to walk away with the field, just continuously crashing behind him. Jeffrey Radke, Corey Stahl, Jordan Darnell get through clean. They look like they could bring it home here. Here comes Stahl with a massive run. Will he catch up to Radke as they make their way around 3 and 4? Radke can see Stahl in the 66 right behind him. Who's it going to be at the line? It's going to be... Oh, it's going to be close as the drag race. Stahl ahead by just 300ths of a second. It's Corey Stahl winning here at Talladega. Jeffrey Radke second. Jordan Darnell picking up the third after a lot of last lap mayhem. Corey Stahl, welcome to the winner's circle here at FEG PC. I think the fans are about to go nuts. Let's take a look at that massive incident. Look at this. The field just absolutely getting obliterated. The big one finally out. And since we are in white flag conditions, nobody's going to let up here. Everybody's going to charge towards the front. And just carnage all across the track as they're still crashing down the backstretch. Total disregard for personal safety. And everybody picking up, trying to make some spots. And look at Corey Stahl taking a moment to wave to the fans before letting it rip in the 66. What an absolute wild finish here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As Corey Stahl gonna enjoy the limelight, absolutely burning it down here at Talladega. And let's start getting these drivers up here into victory lane. Starting with Jordan Darnell, the number 15 machine. Jordan, welcome to the top 3 and what was an absolute wild finish here tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, Jordan, we kind of knew things were going to possibly get exciting here at the end, but could you possibly have imagined just how exciting it was going to be for you to weave your way through and pick up that third-place finish?
Well, you know, earlier in the race, I got into the number 17 car. You know, I'd like to apologize to him, but yeah, just stayed patient and tried to work my way up there as fast as I could.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you, my friend. Now, what was the strategy coming into tonight? Were you going to play it safe and try and keep a clean truck? Were you going to risk it all? What was the plan, the strategy?
Plan's always to try to keep it clean. Just try to stay back with my teammates and try to help them and vice versa and come up with a good strategy. Shout out to the distance, Rylan and Dalton, and Corey and Jeff and Wally.
Well, always a great time talking to my friend. And anybody else you want to give a shout to, friends, family, sponsors that helped you get up here?
Of course, my family, wife, and my little boy sitting in the living room waiting on me to finish. Hopefully they were watching tonight.
Well, awesome. If not, we'll have to definitely save that replay for you. Great job, Jordan. Good to have you up here in a very well-earned third.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was Jordan Darnell with the third-place finish. Up next, a longtime friend, Jeffrey Radke. Jeff, it's been a while since we had the opportunity to talk to you, and good to see you back up here tonight after an absolute wild green-white checker finish.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just holding on.
Now, Jeff, I mean, it looked like the win was in your sight, but what were you thinking behind the visor after you saw that massive pile up towards the front and you're able to kind of snake through there?
I knew my teammate was back there, and he's a lot higher in points, so we figured out he should take the win.
So a little bit of team strategy, good to see it. And I know that's tough for a racer to kind of make that call, but sometimes the team needs what the team needs. I mean, Jeffrey, it's a speedway race where green white checker attempt. Were you kind of expecting something wild to happen there?
Oh yeah, I knew something was gonna get crazy. I was behind my other teammate Rylan, and I was just hoping I could push him somewhere, but the seas parted, and I ended up out by myself.
Well, glad it worked out well for you, man. That was a lot of fun to watch, and it's been too long since I believe last season. I think it's the last time I've had the opportunity to talk to you. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but now did you have a fast repair still in reserve, or did you have to use that up earlier this evening?
I believe I talked to you at Atlanta. I had a second place finish there. Kind of shoot myself in the foot the rest of the segments, but hopefully the next one I'll be able to get out there. I did have a fast repair remaining if I needed it, but I didn't need it.
Awesome. Jeffrey, glad you didn't need it. Good to have you back up here. And who do you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you earn that second place spot.
First and foremost, my wife letting me do it every week. Rylan and the distance, and Jeff for putting them on.
Awesome. Jeffrey, congratulations. Hope to have you up here in the coming weeks, and good to have you back, my friend.
Thanks, James. Have a good night.
You as well, sir. That was Jeffrey Radke bringing home a second. But up next, the man of the hour. The fans going absolutely nuts for Corey Stahl in the 66 machine. Corey, congratulations on the win. What a wild ride here tonight at Talladega.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Oh, it was. Good time, good time.
Now, Jeffrey, I mean, all of a sudden you're running, I think, 6th or 7th there on the final restart, and kind of looked like everything went right for you as you started weaving your way up towards the front, dodging a whole lot of trucks in the progress. What was going on in your mind there?
Oh, man, I didn't think I was going to make it through, to be honest. Just kind of held it down. Last lap, just trying to get through it. Seen the seas parted. I had a little bit of a gap, so I had some time to think about it. I just picked the middle, and we went.
Yeah, Corey, how do you make that call in the closing laps when you're trying to risk or kind of manage that risk of a win versus a safe finish? I mean, is there any thought process, or does the racing reflexes take over and just kind of forces you to hold down that loud pedal?
I just really needed the points, man, at this point in the segment. Just go for broke. I needed the positions, and then it just all worked out. We popped out. It was Jeffrey was in front, and it was me second, nobody behind us. We talked about it for a second, and took the lead and got my first win in the league.
Well, that is an impressive way to make it happen. We're watching the replay now of the smoke screen in front of you as everybody started to bend. It looks like you got really fortunate with drivers either going high or low, and we saw a little bit of evasive maneuvers out of the 66. And, we actually saw you with a little bit of contact with an upside-down truck. Did you feel that in the seat, or was that a glancing blow?
It was a glancing blow. I did see it, but yeah, when it happened, it didn't seem to affect the speed of the truck. I was still going pretty good. I had good momentum.
Well, Corey, a great finish tonight, man. I know you're ecstatic. The fans have been going wild for you all night long in the spectator area, and now you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the evening. Who do you want to give a shout-out to that helped get you and that 66 machine up in the top spot for the first time?
I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, my team, my girlfriend, my friends that all sit in there and support me every week. You guys for broadcasting, Jeff for putting on the league. I had a great time this year.
Awesome. Corey, congratulations, man. Well earned. Good to have you up here. I'm ecstatic. The fans are ecstatic. And now no pressure, but you got to keep up the momentum moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Dover next week.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Corey, thank you for your time. Congratulations again, and hope to have you back up here soon.
Hey, thanks.
That was Corey Stahl bringing home the top spot after a race that got all sorts of out of hand here. But hey, great racing, great camaraderie, and a lot of fun watching it here at the end, where Corey Stahl picks up his very first win of the season, just ahead of Jeffrey Radke and Jordan Darnell, who round out the podium. As always, on behalf of FEGPC.net, my name is James with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everybody.